Welcome. James Ernest of The Grueling Truth here with UFC alum Brad Kohler. Brad, tell us about your upcoming event, Gender Wars.
Hey, James, thanks, and thanks for bringing me on the show. Our show, Gender Wars, is a combination of really three events going on. Number one, and first and foremost, we want to promote is the UFC veterans from yesteryear that are still in shape, still trying to compete, and want to fight some more. So we got on our undercard, our co-main event is Travis View, and I tell you, if you ever look up Travis View, it's spelled W-I-U-F-F. He's got 97 fights, 75 wins. He's fought all over the world, including 2 UFCs. In his corner cornering him would be Big Daddy Goodrich. Of course, he's a legend of the sport. There's no introduction there needed. The other corner will be 6'10", 255 pounds, Wes Sims, 9-time UFC veteran. Again, he's fought all over the world too. A legend of the sport. And then in his corner will be the one and only greatest heavyweight of all time, Mark the Hammer Coleman. That is going to be our co-main event, and for the main event, now the main event is kind of like a combination of a game show contest, and it's man versus woman, and it is an MMA setting. It is for $1 million, and now the difference at all, it's a street fight setting in a warehouse, no cage, no ring, no ropes, no audience. It's one-on-one battle to see who wins. And now the rules and regulations are modified a little bit, but all in all, this is a real deal. This is not choreographed. This is not going to be holding nothing back. This is for all the marbles. And so we've been in search of the toughest housewife that we can find throughout the world. We've got several in mind right now. We're doing our final cuts. We're announcing Monday night live on mymmanews.com, and then we start searching for the male. So the rules in our UFC debut, or our co-main event, which is different, okay? So it will be a full-out, MMA rules, elbows, strikes, knees, everything. There is an out of bounds. So if they're in a guard or in this half mount and they're sliding out of bounds, instead of rolling up against the cage and they go out of bounds, they get stood up, put back in the middle, just like wrestling. We're trying to create more action and more excitement, but there are only 3-minute rounds with a 1.5-minute break. And during that 1.5-minute break, we cut the commercial, do a, try to educate the fans, get the fans involved, winning contests, and give the guys a little bit longer break so we can see more action in the fights. There's 3 rounds. Okay? In the main event, the Gender Wars, there is full-out boxing from the feet. It is closed fist. It is going toe-to-toe. On the ground, men have to use open hand strikes and no elbows only. And there is no headbutts allowed. Okay? So it's almost like your sport jiu-jitsu for the guy with a little bit more flexibility, and for the woman it's all out. And just to clarify things, this is not the first of its kind. There has been many in Brazil and China. They're on YouTube, and I tell you what, there's a couple badass women out there that went out there and fought for peanuts and won. And I tell you what, that's one way to represent, but unfortunately they didn't get paid or the recognition. We're putting ourselves out there to try to build this type of deal, and hopefully it takes, and we can keep bringing in the UFC veterans and promoting sort of a contest with legends of the sport.
Excellent.
Okay.
So it sounds, like you said, like a really nice opportunity for legends of UFC, Bellator, MMA in general to be able to compete, to be able to still show the quality that they can do And then you also have, on top of that, the drama, the excitement of the Gender Wars main event.
It's going to be one of those nail-biting things. You get people going, oh my God, and that's what we're looking for. Again, this is not holding nothing back. We are looking for flat-out, straight contestants, and we have been overwhelmed with more men than women that want to be in this thing, and which is very surprising. We're advertising right now only for the females, and yet males are just thrown in their videos and bios on our Facebook page like you wouldn't believe. The Facebook page is Gender Wars MMA at Facebook. Okay, and you can get all the information there, and email address, the rules. I'm sorry, not the rules, but the 10 questions you need to put your video out there for us to, consider you as a contestant. It is one of those risque things. I understand that. We've made it, we're trying to make it as safe as possible. Again, it's not the first time it's been done. The one that was done in Brazil, it was bare knuckles with headbutts. Now, we're not going that extreme, okay? But we are going to try to make this very competitive.
Nice. So, what are some of the criteria that you're looking for in those fighters?
Well, we don't want any professionals. We really don't want to say, everybody's throwing in these different scenarios. Oh, Gabby Garcia or this for a Cyborg versus, this guy. We don't really want to see that. We want to see somebody who's just wants to change their life. They work out, they do Tough Mudders, they do sparring classes, they do jiu-jitsu classes, they do, all kinds of fitness classes, and a housewife, a woman that goes home every day, works her butt off at the office, works her butt off in the gym, cooks and cleans this, that, and the other, and everyday people, that are trying to struggle every day like the rest of us to make it work, and it's like, how are we going to get our kids through college? Winning the lottery. Well, here's your opportunity right now to win the lottery. It's going to take some hard work, dedication, and a lot of releasing the hounds, getting mean. But there is a chance. There's more chance of winning this than the lottery.
So kind of like American Ninja or Broken Skull Challenge, where, like you said, they're everyday people, but they're going to do something extraordinary.
Well, I would say put the American Ninja Warrior competition where it's physically fit to the Fear Factor man show kind of thing. And, it's like, ooh, gosh, you're going to be all, Joe Rogan used to have people, men and women, swallow mule sperm, okay? A quart of it. Stuff like, or eating bugs or, all that kind of gross stuff. It just makes you quiver. It's not that extreme, but you understand it is like, well, it's kind of crazy, but okay, the show is successful, and people wanted to be on there. Why? Because they wanted to win money. You win $50,000, $100,000. That could be 2 years of work at what you do right now.
Exactly, it could change someone's life.
This right here is the game changer. $1 million can change a person's life.
Exactly.
Not just 1 or 2 years. It's a life.
Nice. So you have, how many fights total is the event scheduled to be?
We're just doing 2 right now, and it's only I think it's $7.95 or $8.95 pre-sale, and I think it's $10.95 day of the show. Okay. So again, this is the pilot show. We want to see, the reactions. We want to see, of course, we're gonna have good and bad. We've already had good and bad, and more people want to see this than not, believe it or not. And I'm fine with both of them. Safety is a big factor, and the big question out there is the other factor. Can this woman be the guy? And we'll find out.
Exactly.
January 12th.
So for $11, you're going to see something extraordinary. You're going to see something different. You're going to see something exciting and entertaining that people will be talking about, possibly for years.
Under $12. It'll be the first one you'll see. And that woman that wins will have to earn the rights at the toughest housewife in the world at that time. And we're not talking about the toughest MMA professional or amateur. We're talking about the toughest housewife in the world will be named that night, because she's legitimately going to have to beat a man. And if the man wins, which is the odds are more for the man, and whether he's, Herbie that, sits in front of a computer all day, or, a guy that just goes to the gym, he's 125, 135 pounds, 150 pounds, whatever. We don't know the woman's size just yet, so we're right in there we're thinking about. We certainly don't want anyone who's not in shape and prepared to do this, because if you have to go 9 minutes, and in fighting, 9 minutes could be a lifetime.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
And you've got to be able to take some punishment. So it's not a Tough Mudder. It's not, just cardio kickboxing. It's grueling. And if anybody's ever wrestled before for real, you know how tough wrestling is. So once you tie up and start really trying to hold somebody in position, you get exhausted quick.
Yeah, so it sounds like there'll be a lot of aspects to this, and this will be being the inaugural event. I mean, just something that could change the game.
Well, I don't really want to change the game. I just want to offer something different. I mean, you got, the American Ninja Warrior. It's almost like, okay, well, I'm sorry, that has nothing to do with being a ninja. There's no martial arts involved at all. It's all fitness. It's all fitness. I don't see one guy doing out there doing a karate chop or his kata. Okay? I don't see no swords. All right? It's about fitness, which is great, because I think fitness should be promoted in this country. But there's other shows out there that promote, certain things that, just maybe don't necessarily mean the title of the show. Mm-hmm. This right here, we want to promote many things. Number one, the awareness of domestic abuse, that there's a difference between friendly competition, and that this is for, an actual, friendly competition, just like you would see on Steve Austin's show, just like you would see on, some of these other shows that you see, that have to do with physical fitness, but this is probably the toughest one of all. This one's taken it to another level.
You mentioned physical fitness. Too bad there's not a way besides, actually going to a gym or going to, a place to learn to fight, that you can train at home with, like fitness combat equipment. Do you know anybody who sells high quality fitness combat equipment that you'd recommend?
As a matter of fact, my machine that I invented 9 years ago, that is now, it's international. We've exploded, and we're on many websites as, like Rogue Fitness, MMA Warehouse, Fuji Mats. We're all over the world. And it's called the Combo Hitter, and it's a boxing apparatus you mount to a wall. It's very quiet. It's very safe. You do not need gloves or wraps. It doesn't hurt you like a heavy bag. If you have bad technique or good technique, it still won't hurt you. It is actually endorsed by the Parkinson's community, and it's been proven to reduce trauma in your arms, hands, and wrists by 99%.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
So shoot, if you are that housewife, you're that guy that, doesn't really do, the big training, but, wants to do something physical in your life, it sounds like this would be a good start. Or for someone who actually does do these things more on a higher level, it also would work for.
I'll tell you that and burpees,
Yep.
You do burpees for about 5 minutes, you're like, okay, I'm done for the day.
Exactly. That'll wear someone out.
But this is, holding your hands up to protect your face from being knocked out and being able to punch for a long period of time is something you got to build a conditioning to. And those are certain muscles in the upper body and your arms that you have to build up to. And a heavy bag, again, there's more trauma being seen by orthopedics anymore than ever. And because so many people are getting into this title boxing and this 9-round boxing thing and not getting hurt. It's, it is what it is. It's the nature of the beast, but, it's that trauma, blunt force trauma. The combo hitter takes that away. It actually burns 3 times more calories than any other boxing apparatus because it comes back center. And so before your next punch is being thrown, the pad is already back in place for you to hit again. So you can actually build your hand speed up and your conditioning with the combo hitter.
Wow. And so, it's probably not, really sturdy, is it? What's it built out of?
It is steel. It's flat out steel. Matter of fact, it's unbreakable.
Oh, wow.
It's got a lifetime warranty on it. The pad is also a lifetime warranty. Again, the pads, it's thick, but yet soft enough for you to not get hurt on, hit it as hard as you want without, getting any trauma. And there's a total of 9 bungees on there. Each bungee has an 800-pound pulling resistance, and basically there's around close to 2,500 resistance pressure on each side. That it's just it's almost impossible. It would be impossible for you to break it with a punch.
I don't know. My punches are a little bit tougher than the average Joe. It's not like you probably have had world-class punches thing. In some type of challenge, right?
For the past 2 years, on every show that we've been to, including the MMA Expo in Syracuse and most of the boxing shows and MMA shows that we set the booth up at, we offer a $500 prize to anybody that can break it. I pay you cash dollar that night, and yet we have not had one broke.
Nice. And actually, the part that really interested me was the names of the people that have tried to break the thing. Butterbean, sheesh. He's known for, wow. Who are
Ashley Evans Smith, Claudia Galahera, Mark Coleman, Wes Sims, the heavyweight champ right now. There's YouTube videos of Stipe Miocic hitting it, Jessica I, Jason Dent, and I tell you what, when you hit this thing and you start building your technique up, and it builds your power up, it builds your conditioning up, you're burning more fat because you're using more muscles. It's just a fantastic apparatus. You can go through uppercuts, hooks, you can duck and bob and weave underneath it. It doesn't take up any floor space. Nice. And so you can put it, literally takes you 5 minutes to put the whole thing up by yourself. I'm going to tell you right now, how many people does it take to put up a heavy bag?
Couple.
3 with a ladder and whatever. At least a couple. And this, you can put this up yourself. If there's an actual rail that looks like a picture frame that you put up on the wall, you screw it into your studs, and then you put the plate on with the combo hitter, and you can adjust it up and down. You can actually adjust the tension, and if you don't want it up, you can take it down within seconds and leave the rail on the wall and still have a free, clear room.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, it's very simple.
But I want to kick things. Do you have anything for me to kick?
We do. We have, it's called a combo kicker. It's in manufacturing mode right now, but won't be released till January.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. So it sounds like there's a little bit of something for everybody to train with.
Well, the kids love it because, again, you're not going to get hurt on it. The adults love it because it is, therapeutic for anger management. And for boxing classes, you don't have to hold focus mitts no more. I got a bum shoulder from all the years of, competing, and, last thing I want to do is hold focus mitts for a guy like you or some big monster guy that wants to start swinging away at me, because it hurts, the elbows, and when you're holding those mitts out there and taking that trauma from somebody, you become the heavy bag. And this takes away from having to need that second person to hold mitts for you.
Nice. So it takes away that excuse not to train, because you can train no matter what, no matter where, pretty much with this type of equipment.
You can, yeah. It's we've sold 1,000, a little over 1,000 to date since we've launched it, and the momentum's going. We're like I said, we're on 15 websites now, and of course my own website, combohitter.com, and Right now, we're offering free shipping through Christmas.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I mean, that sounds like for somebody who's a fitness or a fight enthusiast in your life, that would be a perfect place to go to and get them something that, will help change their life and get them fit.
Yeah. Well, it's safe, first and foremost. Second, it's quiet, and it's fun for everybody. So.
Excellent. So to recap, if they're looking to get the equipment, either combohitter.com or there's 15 other websites that they can go to.
Yeah, once you Google Combo Hitter, you'll see it's all over the place. Some people are offering free shipping right now, and my website is. But Rogue Fitness, they sell a lot of them, and that's to the CrossFit people who want to get into a different change up their conditioning while they're training for those those tough mutters and stuff like that. So you actually do change your wind up quite a bit when you start throwing punches to doing cleans or squats or burpees. It changes your wind when you have to start throwing punches.
And then with Gender Wars, when should we expect the big announcements of the contestants, and when and where is the fight?
This Monday night. Like I said, it's live on mymmanews.com. The fight is in Russia, January 12th, and we're showing it live at, it'll be 9 o'clock Eastern time. Here in Ohio, it'll be 9 o'clock. And check it out. We'll be blasting over social media. You'll see it on inplayer.com. So they're out of London. That's our London pay-per-view company. I'll be producing it and doing the production part of it.
So they're the ones, you go to their website and pay the less than $12 for this event?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And inplayer is inplayer.com. Or you can go to our Gender Wars MMA on Facebook, and you'll see the link then. Once we're putting out our landing page for people to do the pre-buy starting next week also after we announce the female, because we'll put her on the poster.
So what MMA legends were going to be with this again?
Yes, so remember it now. Cornering Travis View will be Big Daddy Goodrich, okay? And then cornering Big Wes Sims will be Mark the Hammer Coleman.
Nice. So definitely a well put together, well organized event with two amazing fights, and definitely I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it sounds exciting.
I think it's going to be new, hopefully exciting. You can never tell. I'm an optimistic person, though, but I think the matches, we're going to try to make them as evenly matched as we can so that we do get some fights out of this, not some wham-bam Mike Tyson fights, that's what we want to see. We want to see, guys out there trying to win. And the UFC guys have something on the line, too. So the next, the winner of this one goes right into our tournament on our next show, which we're doing a heavyweight tournament. We have many fighters, including Phil Baroni, who has shown incredible interest in being in that. And we're doing just heavyweight, lightweight. So over 205, under 205 is our classes, like early days. And so that's it.
Excellent. So in other words, potentially down the road, there's going to be a tournament and a champion crown. So this is kind of that play-in game to an extent.
This is our pilot show. But we are funded for 3 shows, and our next one will be middle of April. And that's the one we're going to do a tournament with another gender war.
Nice. So yeah, definitely looking forward to it. Any final thoughts? Any social media platforms you would like to plug?
I want to thank My MMA News and for all the help they've done, and with Funny MMA, they've done a great job. Sure Dog put us out there. Also, check out at Facebook at Gender Wars MMA on Facebook.
Excellent. Thank you, Brad, for coming on the show.
And thank you, by the way. Appreciate you guys. And MMA Digest, who put out that video, which is really cool. And you guys, thank you for the interview. It's always a pleasure talking to you, James. And I look forward to seeing you soon.